8 a.m. right now. I've been up for a little bit, just taking care of some stuff, doing a little bit of my morning routine. As you guys can see, it is raining here in LA. I don't mind the rain, I actually enjoy it. So today's Wednesday. I have a few things I need to take care of meeting-wise, not a ton this morning. I have a few later on. Today is Wednesday, right? Today, right? I have a few meetings later on in the afternoon I need to take care of. We are putting together a sales training as well for you guys. We're gonna make a pretty extensive video on A to Z, what you guys need to know about how to start getting into sales and how to take control of a call and start a sales call, etc. So with that being said, let's get the day started and I will see you guys soon. All right guys, so it's like noon right now. I'm heading to the gym. I haven't been able to record as much as I wanted to this morning just because I've been busy and on calls, and sometimes it feels like I just get call after call after call about certain things, but all is good with that. And it's funny too, when I have someone, anyone's sleeping on my couch, which does not happen often at all, but I've been extending that to Hugo for a few days. My morning routine just isn't the same. I'm one of those people, you guys, that's I'm a loner. I like doing things alone, and I do things by myself, and not honestly almost everything. I just like doing things alone. I like just kind of being in my own space and my own world, and so when I don't have that, it's just a little bit different. So still getting acclimated to that. What's going on up here? The boys in blue. Oh shoot, look at this. I don't know if you guys could see it, but this truck backed into these two cars and it looked like the guy ran or something because no one was around. Yeah, I want to say too, these last few days I've been super locked in, this content stuff and everything. I love doing it, and it's been awesome to keep on doing it for you guys. And then also it's been locked in with everything else, and it's it takes obsession. You have to be absolutely obsessed with what you're doing to win and succeed, especially at a high level. And like I said a few videos ago, talent doesn't even matter. Talent literally does not matter. You have to be obsessed, and you have to be so dialed in and so obsessed, and there's no balance. If you want to succeed, there is no balance. And I'm usually pretty locked in on my diet, and I mean I always eat pretty healthy food, but I'm saying diet wise in terms of the times I eat and the amount of times I'm eating and things like that throughout the day. But even the last few days, I've been eating the way I wanted to, and I haven't been at the gym the time I wanted to. That's because I'm so obsessed with this content stuff and just growing my companies as well, and growing the 3PL and growing the consulting agency. It's everything to me. I'm just obsessed, and you have to be obsessed. And if it was about the money, I would have stopped already. It's not about the money. It's this obsession and competitive drive to truly want to be the best and desire to be great, and you have to have that. It's a non-negotiable. And a lot of people you see on the internet, there's kind of this stigma, or you'll see people come on the internet that just post lifestyle stuff or whatever, and they might not come across like they are competitive, or they're just comedy stuff, whatever, or anything, even just day in the life kind of guys, or content creators, or coaches, course guys, whatever. At the end of the day, if you're doing this day in and day out, you're a hyper competitive individual, and they might not even view it that way in that moment, but you have to have an obsession. That's why it's become obsessed with being obsessed. Become excited about being excited. Go find excitement in being excited. Become obsessed with being obsessed about something. And that's where it really changes. It's not about just being obsessed. It's find an obsession with being obsessed. You have to get excited about being excited. Go be passionate about the idea of wanting to be passionate about something. You have to have this view of where you want to be passionate, you want to be obsessed. Go find something to be obsessed. And like I said in yesterday's vlog too, it's you guys have to go find something to be busy about. If you're not busy, go get busy. Go find a way to be busy about something. Go find something to do. Go work for free. Go find a way to feel like you're adding value at all times. That's a huge thing, is go find a way just to add value. Add as much value as you possibly can. That is everything. So all right guys, I'm pulling up to the gym right now, and I will see you guys in the parking garage. All right guys, so let's go to the gym. And moments like that are when I wish that I had a filmer just coming and film with me, because so many things just happen organically. Now you guys gotta remember too that before I started doing this content stuff, I have successful businesses that are doing all this, right? And everything I'm showing you guys, I've been doing in real life for 2+ years now, right? And so I wish you guys saw this, because it shows the power of giving, right? And so I just had a guy that I know here who kind of asks me for business advice. He gave me these things, okay? He works at the bar downstairs, not the bar, but the smoothie bar or whatever, and he works down there, and he asked me about a lot of business advice, and I just give, and I'm a huge believer in you just have to give, and I feel so good giving knowledge and just sharing experiences with people, right? and it really stuck with him. And he's always said, you know, your stuff really inspires me, Billy, whatever. And I post on my Instagram story that you can get anything you want, you just don't want it bad enough, you're not working hard enough. And he said, dude, your words just always impact me, it means the world, whatever. My point being is that, one, I wish you guys could see it organically and naturally, but two, it just shows that there's so much power in giving, right? I thought about a few moments ago when he gave me the food. He said, I said to myself, there's just so much power in giving. You give and eventually it will come back, right? And don't give just to give. You give when you feel right and it feels comfortable, and you have to believe and see it coming back into your life. But there's just so much power in giving and finding that. And a lot of people just want to take, but when you give, you will receive. And I promise you that. If you, like I said a few clips ago, if you guys are struggling or you don't know what to do, just go find something to give somebody. Whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's a smile, whether it's your ears, whatever it is, just go find ways to give, and give with an open heart, with feeling really good about it, and just give. And I promise it'll come back into your life. All right, guys, I just finished up at the gym, but I'm running late for this meditation class, so I'm gonna take this right now and I'll see you guys after. I'm running late like usual. Like 10 minutes late, but I should be fine. So I just finished the gym. It's like 4:30 right now. The day's been flying by. But I went to the gym and I did a meditation class as well. They call it a sound bath meditation. And I want to go into why meditation is so important, all right? So the universe is so abundant and so giving, and it wants to give you everything that it is that you want. Everything that it desires, it already knows that you desire it, and it wants to give you it. But people forget oftentimes that what's blocking those things from coming into life is these blockers. They put up blockers. That's why I've said a few videos ago, the real power is not about thinking more positive thoughts, but it's about removing more negative thoughts. So what happens is when you're trying to receive something, your negative thoughts and your negative beliefs and that voice in your head that tells you you can't do something, that you're not good enough, that you whatever, that I can't, that doubt, that's a blocker. That's a negative belief and a blocker that comes in that's blocking the universe from trying to give you that blessing, trying to give you exactly what it is that you want. And so meditation is so powerful because what it does is it quiets your mind and it really lets you focus on nothing. The act of meditation is to actually focus on nothing. And what that does, it helps you, one, have a clear head, but also two, it's removing these negative thoughts and these negative beliefs so you actually can receive what it is that you want. And what I mean by that is, I see, for example, I see so many, like, whether they're soon to be entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that could be so successful, that could be crazy successful, but their mind is their biggest enemy. They are their own enemy. And it's oftentimes because they can't block out the noise in their head. They literally do not know how to turn their brain off. And that's where I have found my success, is my ability to turn my brain off and being able to focus and that discipline of being able to focus. It's a skill. Learning how to learn, you have to learn how to learn. Learning is a skill within itself, and you have to have the discipline to be able to quiet your mind, right? And when your mind is just too loud, you can't focus on anything else. You can't stay focused on one task for a certain time, and you have to be able to do that if you want to succeed at a high level. You have to be able to stay focused, and that's a disciplinary act, is staying focused. And you have to be able to find the focus, and then to be able to block out all this other noise and be able to, through tough times and good times, focus on what's really needed, right? So my point being with all this, you guys, is that you have to be able to quiet your mind. And I like, you guys see me smiling. Meditation's just, it's changed my life. I cannot tell you guys how much it has changed my life. And when you quiet your mind, you can actually focus, and you remove these negative beliefs. You remove these negative thoughts and these negative beliefs, and you just swim in gratitude, and you are just so grateful. And what it does is you really realize that all of this is simply a mindset. It really is all in your head. All of life is literally in your head, and it's all just projected out here. And so my point being is, you guys, is you have to understand that you have to quiet the mind, and you have to learn how to quiet your mind and let go of all this noise, because all that noise is blocking you from receiving from what it is that you want. So take that for what it is, you guys, but just, I strongly encourage you guys to learn how to just practice meditation and practice quieting your mind and being in that state. And it's truly changed my life. And they actually say the busier you are, the more you should be meditating. The busier you are, the more you should meditate. And it's true. It's really true. And it's changed my life. And I hope, even if there's one person who watches this and takes from that, that's how passionate I am about all this, but especially meditation. And so it's a humongous part, you guys, of achieving what you want and just being at peace and being able to have a clear head so you can achieve what it is that you want. So with that being said, I'm heading to Erewhon right now. I'm going to get some food. I went to Bravo Toast earlier in the day, this morning, but before I worked out. and then I'm gonna go eat right now as well. We'll see what I end up getting. I know a few guys also reached out about in the last video about that free sales script. It's in the link in the bio now. It's in the link in the bio of all the other videos as well, so you guys go check that out if you want. It's a phenomenal way to understand that, like, how to take control of the conversation. And scripts are important. It's super important, especially early on. It's really important to stick to that, and then you can get creative inside the script and kind of bend and mold a little bit in the way that you need to. But scripts overall, especially in the beginning, are phenomenal, and they're really good ways to practice, and also not only practice but take control of the call. I think once you understand that taking control of the call and putting yourself in a position where you are the one leading the call, what happens is from there you can get creative. And like I showed you guys in the other video too, it's about having that structure of the call, and once you get good, you can kind of get creative, you know, and go from there. But yeah, so that's just, you guys want to check that out, you guys can as well. And then it's been raining in LA today. I was kind of surprised, but it's been raining a good amount, and so I need to go get my car washed, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow once it stops raining. You guys can't really see it from here, but it's raining in the clouds. As you can see in the clouds too, but it stopped raining a little bit, but it's been raining for the most part all day. All right, guys, so I just got to Erewhon. I'm taking the stairs up right now. I guess the upper level parking is closed, and I never go downstairs, but so I had to go downstairs, and now I'm walking up the stairs instead of walking down the stairs to get there. But I want to talk about something that I think is really powerful in the idea of learning how to say no. In the beginning, you have to say yes to everything, right? Like in the beginning of this entrepreneurial journey for mine, I was saying yes to everything. Any ideas, like when I say like yes to everything, I mean like ideas, opportunities, etc. I always said yes to everything. And now I'm at this point though where I have to like start saying no more and more and more. And my time is becoming very limited. So it's, you have to learn, like one of the biggest superpowers you guys have is your ability to say no and knowing what to say no to. And it's super important that you guys do that, and you learn the difference between the two and knowing how to say no. So I just got here. I'm gonna go get some food right now. I will show you guys what I get. All right, guys, so I just sat down and got my food. Let me show you guys what I got. Remember, vegetables first, then protein, then carbs. He gave me a little bit too much vegetables today, because as you guys know, I do not like vegetables. I read this thing yesterday that Erewhon bottom line net profit takes home like $200 million a year in profit. Kind of surprised. I don't know how much I was expecting, but I was kind of surprised. All right, guys, so I just finished up eating, and now I'm doing a quick walk around the block like usual. And I wanted to talk about something in regard to sales here really quick, right? So a lot of people, when they're first starting out in sales, they don't understand that you have to talk to everyone a little bit different. That's why I'm such a big believer in starting with sales, because the reality is that so much of sales is a great way to learn everything else about entrepreneurship. And what I mean by that is, when you have employees, you have to learn how to talk to each employee a little bit differently. Everyone's going to respond to things a little bit differently. The same goes in sales. When you have a prospect, you have to be able to become very good at analyzing these people very quickly, figuring out how you need to speak with them and the right way to speak with them. And so not everyone's going to be this exact same way. You're not going to be able to speak to every single person the exact same way. And you have to, in those discovery questions and very quickly early on, be able to make those assessments. And then beforehand, you need to practice and have an idea of like, okay, if the call goes this way, if they're this type of person, I'm going to take it this way. If they're this type of person, I'm going to take it this way, right? You have to be able to understand it's not the actual thing itself, it's the lens in which you're viewing it from, right? You have to understand that you have to change your belief systems, and it's the lens in which you're viewing it from, not the actual thing itself that you're looking at. What I mean by that is, like, you don't have to understand exactly how to handle certain things. It's understanding just how to handle certain types of people, and that's broad enough to where if you know it's type A person, you go this way, type B person, you go this way. So there's kind of food for thought, you guys. You don't have to spend all this time trying to dissect every single person. You have to be able to find ways to group people together. And if they're this type of person, you go this way. If they're this type of person, you go that way. And you understand that that's just how it goes, and it can stay broad like that. You don't have to, go super in depth on every single type of person. What's up, guys? So it's like 7:30 right now. I've just been finishing up some work, really dialing the posting of the content. So that's been really good to kind of get this squared away. So I've been using this thing called Buffer. I know I showed you guys in the last video I was using a different application, but this is kind of what I'm finalizing and going with. This has kind of been the most user-friendly for me. Something called Buffer, as you guys can see. So it's a really cool way to, like, you can schedule posts right there, hit new post, and then schedule it, and it connects with all the other accounts that you have on here. So that's been like super good. I don't know why, but the uploading content from my phone into Google Drive directly. Like it hasn't been working, so I'm having to airdrop it into my computer and then upload it to Google Drive for there for my editor. So as you can see, it's all there. So yeah, I have all that stuff in Google Drive. I think I'm gonna go get a new camera by the end of this week. I'm gonna get like that DJI Osmo, I think it is. I'll show you guys when I go get it. I'll bring you guys along with me for that. But I think I'm gonna get that. It's like more of a handheld one. I'm thinking if I get like a bigger one too, I don't know, we'll see. I'm thinking for like the raw talk videos that I do, I'm thinking more of the camera style, like the nicer camera setup, and then the other one will be like the more handheld vlog style where like it's not on my phone still, though the phone storage thing just isn't working. And yeah, so I'm taking care of that. And then I'm trying to update my calendar as well for my assistant and I. But I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about some sales stuff. And so like I always tell you guys, the person asking the questions is the one that's in control of the conversation. And I think oftentimes where people really mess up is early on in the early days. They don't know how to start a call. Like most people don't know how to get on the call, what to do, etc. So I showed you guys like the free script. You can find it in my bio as well. But I want to kind of go over something as well. Is like I'll walk through like a quick brief mock call. Okay, so like let's say you get on a call, and this also depends on if you guys are doing like a discovery, like setting and closing call, or just like trying to go right into a closing call. If I do recommend, if you're going right into a closing call, like let's say you're an info product coach, etc. If you're going right into a closing call, what I do recommend is that on some level, I like to say this, okay, that I try to have them be as far as along in the sales cycle as possible before they're talking to a human. Okay, and what I mean by that is like you, in a perfect world, you'd have people only calling you saying, where can I pay? Because your systems up front are that good, right? And they're that dialed in. And so with my point being there, you guys, is that it's really important to figure out your sales flow and what you want to do. And if you are going to go straight into a closing call, you better have a ton of really good content top of funnel. You better have a ton of free value as well. And also you probably want to have them in your email list and email nurture flow, something there, you guys, it's not just, hey, sign up for my program right away. You know what I mean? Like you can't just have expect someone to like at one touch point, then into closing. Like that's just not going to work. Like you need a few touch points and you need that deep level of trust. And so you got to make sure that one, like your content and everything aligns, but not only that though, you need to make sure that you're doing your sales flow properly. But like, let's just say you're even like an online, like a remote closer or whatever, and you want to have more effective calls. First things first, you guys, is when you get on the call, you have like 5 seconds to make an impression. And then what you need to do is, be super sharp, be super articulate, and be a figure of authority and let your knowledge be known. And you want that to be known. And something too that I've been implementing a lot in sales calls lately is talking about how I want to make sure that we're a good fit for each other, and also that we're a culture fit. Okay. And what that really means is like, I think I told you this on yesterday's vlog too, but you want to make sure that you can like kind of reverse engineer this idea of them qualifying themselves at the end of the call. You want them basically pitching themselves to you by the end of that call, right? And so it's very good to have them like some level of exclusivity. No one's going to buy from the desperate guy. No one wants to go out with the desperate guy. Like no one's going to buy from the desperate guy, right? So you have to like maintain posture always. And like, let's just say this, for example, let's say someone says, I need some time to think about it. All right. I love this. Like I need to think about it line. Okay. So I need to think about, hey, let's say his name's Jordan. Hey, Jordan, I totally get it. 1000%. I know this is a big decision. While I pull up my calendar here to book you in for a call, what are some things you wanted to go over? Or I even say, what are some things you want me to include in that email to make sure that you have a super detailed idea of what's going on? So when we do speak again, you're able to really come in knowledgeable and have an idea of what your needs are. Oh, well, I'm worried about, I want return on the investment. I want you to go over ROI. Oh, I see. So when you say ROI, what do you mean? Kind of explain that a little bit more to me, right? And so then when you're in there, now you're right back in the call though, right? Like you went from like, I need to think about it, whatever price, whatever I need to think. Let's just say I need to think about it. You went from that to totally disarming yourself. Like, hey, totally get it. I totally understand. I do know this is a big deal. You level with them. I would need some time as well. I totally agree. And then from there, what you're able to do is then you say, even take it a step further and say, I'm pulling up my calendar right now so I can book you in for next week. With that being said, what did you want me to include in that email so you have a really good understanding of what's going on for our next call? From there, he's going to bring up the real objection. And that's really what's going on. Is then you're able to identify the real objection. And it's more so about removing as much friction. Like I told you guys in the sales video, like the 10-minute sales video I dropped, it's about soft closing throughout the call. Like you don't want that end close at the end when you want to handle every objection up front. Like you really don't like that. When you go for that hard close, you want there to be no friction anymore because you handled all those close and you soft close. And how do you soft close? Use hypotheticals, right? You use like what if statements, like hypotheticals, like, hey Jordan, let's just say hypothetically speaking here, we were a good fit for you. We were decided to work together. What would be a better would option A or option B be a better suitable option for you? Which one do you feel like would help you more, right? And so I even caught myself there. You need to use words like feel. Feel sparks emotion. You want to use emotion words. And something that I really like too is no sale is based off of logic. Think about that again. Someone's never going to buy for you based off of logic, okay? And what that really means is that you need to get someone in their emotion and thinking emotionally, all right? And so when you do that, you use words like feel, right? And think words that strike emotion, okay? And so it's, which option do you feel would benefit you more, right? And so that's just a few different things kind of like to handle objections, and to really honestly, the soft closing is really a way to mitigate objections and like really try to have them not really be there, because objections are technically coming after you pitch, right? It's after you pitch and you give them the pitch and the price and the offer, et cetera. And then these objections come. But when you're able to address those early on in the discovery part of the call, you're able to really eliminate some of that stress, not that stress, but those objections in there. And then also too, I'm a big believer, you guys, in maintaining posture. Maintain your posture throughout the call. So let's say the guy says, hey, this isn't a good time for me to meet right now. You say, hey, I totally get it. He says, like, let's hop on a call for Friday. He says, hey, you know what, man? Jordan? I don't have any time on Friday. We're heading out to another sales conference out there in Minnesota, whatever. With that being said, how does next week sound for you? He's like, oh, well, I know that's going to work. Okay, sounds good. Well, before I let you go, what's there something I can send over an email to you, et cetera, yada, yada. I can put in an email for you, include an email going over, everything that you're curious about that you like to understand. Well, I want to know a better idea about the onboarding process. Oh, the onboarding process. What about the onboarding process are you curious about? Well, the last guy I worked with, he told me that we onboarded them. I didn't like it. Okay, that sounds good. So it sounds like the onboarding, your main concern is this. Is that sound accurate? It's like, oh yes, blah blah blah. Okay, well you're back in the conversation. The longer you stay in conversation, the better of a chance you have of closing, right? The longer you stay in conversation, the better of a chance you have to close that person, and you build that much more rapport. And you want to stay in rapport, right, as much as you can. So that's just a few things for you guys that I think is really valuable and that I deal with on a daily basis, and I for the most part you're going to be dealing with as well, especially early on in your journey as you get more acclimated. But like I said, so it's like 7:50 right now. I might go get some food from Cipriani in probably like 30 minutes or so. One of my friends are going to call me. He needs some help with some business advice, just like a friend of mine from the gym. David, you guys met David last time. So I'm going to upload some clips, scheduled all these clips out right now, and then I'm going to finish up some stuff here, get the day plan for tomorrow, and then wait for this content to upload too, and I will see you guys in a little bit. What's up, guys? So it's like almost 9 right now. I'm going to go ahead to eat right now. I'm going to Cipriani. Just finish up with like all the content stuff. I've just been, like I've said like 100 times already, I've just been putting a ton of emphasis on that. I'm literally just going to go get dinner in my sweats. And that's one of the things, you guys, is when you talk to people, you listen to people, you look people in the eyes and ask them how they're doing, and you tip well and all these things. The reality is that you get to wear anything that you want to 5-star restaurants in Beverly Hills. That's just the reality of it, right? And in some way, you guys, money does talk. And when you do have the money, you can wear what you want most of the time. So I'm on my way to the restaurant right now, you guys, and I want to give you guys a prime example of knowing how to say no and the power of saying no, okay? So more and more as I'm growing as an entrepreneur, I get so many people that is like in my day-to-day life. Even a lot of my deal flow honestly comes from people I meet in real life, and I think it's just when you take pride in who you are, and LA is just a big place like that. But besides the point though, so I get a lot of people asking, let's hop on a call, and early on, like earlier days, 6 months, a year ago, I'd say, sure, let's hop on a call. Because in the beginning, I'm a big believer in you should say yes to everything and you don't ever say no to a potential opportunity. But with that being said, though, over this time, I've gotten more busy and things have flourished and grown even more. And my times has become more limited. Like I realized that there's simply not enough hours in the day. And the reality is that you have to be able to say no. And like now, it's like people say, let's hop on a call. And it's like, nowadays I say no. Like I say, you need to give me at least 24 to 36 hours in advance so my assistant and I can put it out on my calendar and I can plan it out and whatever. And if you don't have an agenda for this call, I'm not hopping on the call. And you have to respect yourself before you can respect anybody else. And so my point being is that's like a prime example of like just saying no, because knowing that there's no real benefit there. And so many people want to hop on a meeting and this and that, but a lot of that stuff is fake, you guys. I want you guys to know it's like just because you hop on a meeting and you act like you're doing work doesn't mean you're getting anything done. And so you need to have valuable things to offer a conversation in order for there to be a formal meeting with anybody. You should respect people's time. But not only that, is if something is not helping you grow or growing your business or growing that big goal for you, learn how to say no. Just learn how to say no and find the power in that. And you might think, oh, he might think I'm a jerk, this guy might think I'm mean, but I promise you, people will only respect you even more because you respect your time, and not that many people can actually respect their time. So find value in respecting yourself and respecting your time, and you will see how other people respect your time as well. well. And so learning how to say no, you guys. If something doesn't benefit you, literally say no and feel good about it, and understand that you have to value your time, and there has to be something positive going on for you to feel comfortable doing that. And it goes back to this idea too of being absolutely obsessed and dialed in. When you're locked in and dialed in, it's very easy to have things mess that up, especially early on. When you're moving 100 miles per hour, one little pothole can mess it up. When you're going slow, it doesn't really matter. But when you're going super fast and you're going 100 miles per hour and your career's, you're in the momentum of things, one little thing can mess it up. So you have to be crazy particular about who you let in, what you do, etc. Right? So with that being said, you guys, I will see you at the restaurant in a second. All right, guys, I already ate my meal. I didn't get a chance to record it before I started, but I get the lamb chops. I'm gonna give you guys a view of the restaurant really quickly. One of my favorite places in all of LA, and just in general, honestly. All right, guys, so I just left Tripriani. It's like almost 11 right now. It's like 10:45. I didn't record much in there just because it's like that's one of my favorite places of all time, and it's kind of like a private place. Like, it's just not the place to pull my phone out like that and record that much. And so I talked to a lot of like the staff there and the waiters and everything, and I have some really good friendships there with like the people there and stuff. And so I just think it's most respectful if I don't pull my phone out like that, you know? But I'm heading home right now, and I wanted to talk to you guys about one thing that I think is really interesting, and about creating an offer, right? And so this goes for any business, right? I think a lot of people think that you just post your ads, you post whatever, and you're gonna get traction. That's not the case anymore. The days of like printing money on Facebook ads and Instagram ads, etc., doesn't exist anymore. You have to have a phenomenal offer, especially as a service-based business, okay, or anything service-wise, okay. And what I mean by that is you have to have a phenomenal offer and a guarantee. You have to have a guarantee. And that book by Sabri Subi that I showed you guys, he shows this data on like that most people forget about the guarantee anyway. And that's not to say that you should never have a guarantee that you can execute on, but it's more so about you get people in the door, and then they realize once they're in the door, it's like, okay, this guy's a good guy, he's got a great offer, he can execute on the service, whatever, right? And my point being is that it's about getting people in the door, and you get people in that door through a phenomenal offer. You want to have a phenomenal offer. And so my point being is it's about having a guarantee, or that's like, I guarantee we'll find you 10 clients in 30 days, and if not, we work with you for free until we do. I guarantee that you'll lose 50 pounds in 1 year, and if not, we'll refund you, something along those lines, right? And you want to make sure that you can execute on that offer, obviously. But the point being is that you have to really curate an offer and make sure that offer is not only executable, but it's so captivating that it makes people stop, right? And so then it goes back into like the sales idea, right? And kind of another thing here is like why I believe sales is such a foundational part of being an entrepreneur, right? Sales is everything. Like, sales is everything. So think of it like this, right? Let's say you go start an agency of any kind, okay? An SEO, marketing, whatever, any kind of agency, okay? Even just, let's say you start anything you could think of, pest control, whatever. In the very beginning, unless you raise money, right? Or you're willing to lose money, the reality is that you have to be the salesman, right? And nothing else matters if you don't have sales. You could have the best product, the best whatever, but if you have no distribution and if you have no way of getting people in the door, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. And it goes hand in hand with this idea too I've been telling you guys about. Sales just makes you a better person. In order to be a good salesperson, you have to become a better person. What I mean by a better person is you have to be able to articulate yourself and connect with people. And the thing is, it's like so many people just kind of stay in their bubble and whatever. When you become a good salesperson, you have this level of confidence that you could go talk to anybody and do anything. And that's really powerful. That is really, really, really powerful. It goes hand in hand to this with you guys really quick about like, you have to just pursue challenge. Like, anything that challenges you, you have to pursue it. And you have to run it over and literally go out of your way to find things that make you uncomfortable. What I mean by that is in the beginning, for me at least, sales was so uncomfortable. I grew up, money was tight, whatever. And then it was like, there would be door-to-door salesmen coming to the door or anything. And I would always equate it to those guys being like, oh, they're salespeople, whatever. But when you realize that, one, there's plenty of things that are for sale that people are selling that are actually of value, right? There's plenty of things that are actually valuable. And it's about just making sure that prospect, that potential client sees the value, and that perceived value is really good. And then secondly, like I said earlier in this clip too, no one makes a buying decision out of logic. It's all out of emotion. You have to get people into the emotional state and ready to buy. And it's really about just removing the friction, as much friction organically in the sale as much as you possibly can. And the point being though is that for a long time, sales was just super uncomfortable for me. And then when I started my fulfillment company, I said, oh my gosh, I've got to learn how to sell. I have to get people on this phone and then convince them to send me thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, even some clients $1 million worth of inventory, to send me their inventory and trust me with their inventory. And I have to convince them to either leave their old 3PL or just start out with me and take this, not do it themselves, whatever, right? And that took sales. I had to learn sales and how to structure calls and all these things. And that changed my life. When I learned how to sell like that, I felt like I could do anything. I could close anybody. There was a time where I was sleeping out of my car in Oregon. I literally was sleeping out of my car for like 3 months in Oregon when I first started my 3PL, my fulfillment company. And I was sleeping out of my car and I closed like 80 clients in 90 days. And let me tell you that I walked around with my chest up and I felt like the man. I was literally sleeping out of my car, but I felt like the man because I was closing everybody and I felt like I could close anybody and everybody. I literally thought I could close anybody. And that level of confidence is fucking awesome. I hope everyone else feels like that. Everyone else gets to experience that feeling one day. And my point being though with you guys is sales is just the root of everything. If you want to go become a phenomenal entrepreneur, go start in sales. And the reality is that I tell people to start in sales, not so they can stay in sales forever. It's so you can get that foundation in sales and go start your own company, and it can really go build out the company and build from there. And that is really powerful, and be able to have that skill, because when you understand sales, you can not only do you know how to articulate yourself well, and you can connect with people, but it instills this level of human understanding. It's this level of human understanding that where you're able to understand your employees really well. You can understand how to connect with people and connect with your employees, and the point of like knowing how to identify their pain points, and how to talk to them and ask them questions and lead the conversations, and just knowing how to be a really good listener is so important in life in general, and even romantic relationships and just relationships in general. Being a good listener is so important, and sales teaches you how to be a really good listener and become a phenomenal storyteller. When you speak, you want people to listen, right? And that's just like when you're in sales and when you're pitching, you want people to be able to listen, articulate, and craft things that where it makes sense to people, right? Just like when you're talking to people in a day-to-day life, right? So just food for thought, you guys, to think about that. And it's really important to step out of your comfort zone and pursue challenge and pursue struggle. And when you're first starting out, you don't want to do it. It feels so uncomfortable, but you have to smile through it, because you know on the other side of that struggle and that uncomfortableness is growth. And growth is an addicting thing that you have to fall in love with. So, all right, guys, with that being said, I'm pulling up to my place right now, and I will see you guys at home in a second here. All right, guys, so it's like 11 right now. I just got home from Cipriani, had a nice dinner. I'm gonna go to sleep right now. It's like 11, like I said, and so it's probably the earliest I've gone to bed this whole week. And so I'm waiting on this content to upload. It still has like almost 5 hours on it. Let's see how much is left. So it literally has like almost 6 hours left. So I'm gonna leave my computer open all night to let that upload. And then, yeah, I don't know why the AirDrop hasn't been working, and my phone has been working, but it's just been weird. So with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna end the vlog here. I appreciate you guys a ton. The channel's been growing like crazy. It's been the coolest thing ever. Like I said, I'm so grateful and so blessed that be able to reach you guys and talk to you guys and be able to help in any way, shape, or form. Remember, stay confident, stay grateful, stay persistent, stay humble, all right? And I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? Thank you.
I ain't seen the sun in 7 days like I've been doing time. That's just how I got the back, built up when I'm on it.